So first I will tell you what is this wiki and what is the semantic structure about, and then more specifically where we applied that technology, and then a little bit its relation to the ForestDSS community of practice. So a bit of history first. The kind of reason that we are here today is in the forces cost action that ran from 2009 till 2013. It was about decision support systems for sustainable forest management. And since the beginning, the cost action kind of decided that let's use a wiki to collect whatever we come up during the cost action, to have a kind of centralized place where to put all the information that was collected during the cost action. But then, I think it was in 2010, we already had quite a lot of information collected in the wiki, and we realized that this, how does one actually extract this information from the wiki? How does one, in a kind of structured way, get the information that one needs out of the wiki? And you have to think who asked that question. It was a group of researchers that also work in software engineering, so we love modeling and putting structure into things. So let's model and structure the wiki was the result of that question. It was too informal, too unstructured for our liking. So we entered the semantic wiki. What it is, it's a more structured version of the regular wiki. In a regular wiki, when you write something on a page in a wiki, it's just that, it's more or less pure text, unstructured text. You can use categories to put kind of a bit of structure to the wiki. You can label a page that this page is about the DSS. This page is about the Portuguese DSS. This page is about the Portuguese DSS that was developed in year 2010. It's a kind of gets a little bit cumbersome to put the structure only using that concept of the category. So what semantic wiki does, it's kind of tags the information that you put in the wiki. It gives the meaning of a value for a piece of information in the wiki. And this is what we then applied in the Forces wiki. And in the final meeting in Umeå in spring this year, oh, wrong year there, I'm already living in the next year. This year, spring of this year, we kind of had the semantic version of the wiki complete. But then the original question still stands, how does one actually extract information from the wiki? So the first step to answer that is that you ensure a kind of consistent content in the wiki. And here we have the DSS descriptions. This was the kind of main contribution of the forces cost action. We described the DSSs that are available for forest management planning, tried to collect all of them all around the world into the wiki. And this information content was based on a kind of template. You had guidelines that, okay, when you describe your DSS into the wiki, you should enter this piece of information and this piece of information. So it was kind of semi-structured. But there was no way of ensuring that everybody actually put that information into the description. So we ultimately wanted to have a situation where every DSS that was described would have the same information content describing them. And this is where semantic wiki really helps, but it's kind of entering the information can be a little bit tedious, so we used again an extension to the original wiki platform called semantic forms that makes the DSS description actually much easier and also faster to put the information in there. So this is how it looks like. A regular wiki syntax is there. There are the categories that I mentioned about. That's the way to label information in the regular wiki. And you write the kind of free format text content like that. And then on the right is the approach that we are using now. It's a kind of structured form where you can, in parts, you can type in free-form text describing something, and then in other parts where you have kind of strict classification that, okay, this applies to these classes, this DSS. So that's what we are using now to have the information. How it is at the moment? Well, we have 58 DSSs described in the wiki that are using this semantic approach, that have the same information content for each DSS. But there are still 43 in the old, not so structured format. So this is where the community of practice comes into play. The task would be to motivate the migration effort from the old way to the new way. This semantic approach then kind of escalated into other content in the wiki, and Alexandra will tell us about the case studies and lessons after my presentation. Okay, so we have this structured content. So what? Kind of casually browsing through the content is now definitely easier because you have a lot of structural information there. You can pick a property that I'm interested in, for example, the let's say like we saw here, the modeling scope that is applicable to the DSS. I want to know about the DSS that apply to ecological indicators, and this is now pretty easily available, this information in the wiki. But then when you want to ask a more kind of complicated question about the DSSs in the wiki, it gets more, well, complicated. Querying the information content isn't really as easy as it should be at the moment. It takes a little bit of effort to figure out how do you actually work your way through the question to get the answer from the wiki. Again, we have a community of practice tasks, so the querying should be easier for the casual user, because that's really where the value of this information repository of forest decision support systems comes into play. When somebody that has a question about this topic actually is able to go to the wiki and easily ask the question and get the answers. In my opinion, we are not quite there yet. So this is my sales pitch for the community of practice. Want to know one of the technologies that is kind of the emerging web technologies, the semantic information. It's not just in the wikis, it's actually a kind of common trend in the content in the web to use these semantic technologies. So it's a kind of hot thing to work with if you are technologically inclined. Are you in general interested in information management? Well, there's something concrete that you can work with, and especially if you answered yes to the previous two and still answer yes to the third one, then definitely you should get engaged in this process. Okay, so we should have at the end my vision that we should have a information repository about forest management decision support system that is both comprehensive and easy to use. I think that's about it. Thank you.